Hello and welcome to PS Such a Connection. I'm P.
And I'm S, and we're talking about hometowns on Nick Viall's season of The Bachelor. Viall, I guess he says it. So anyway.
So yeah, this episode was awful.
It wasn't. What? It was better than last week's.
I don't know about that.
I mean, I think you're better because they didn't do a rose ceremony.
I am very bitter because they didn't do a rose ceremony. There's literally no reason for them not to do a rose ceremony.
0 reasons.
I was tapped out halfway through though because I didn't care about Corin or Vanessa's dates. So the first half, I guess, was awesome because I loved Raven's date.
Raven's date was amazing.
But even Rachel's date, church.
Okay, but you're not religious. And
Yeah. But
but down south, the big gospel choir churches that
yeah, but I can still
it's a
dislike an
thing.
episode because I wasn't interested in anything past the first date.
Yeah. But I don't think it was necessarily a bad date. I thought that's what
No,
you were
I didn't
saying.
think it was a bad date.
Okay.
I was just like, all right, I'm out.
Gotcha.
They're at church. Peace.
Gotcha. But yeah, Raven's date was first, and of course our Pam is in love with her. And they went four-wheeling, and they did this stupid cop thing at the beginning.
I wish they'd actually gotten a chance to hang out on the tops of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, that's super cool and cute. I thought they were going to go to a water tower, too, and it was going to be, all those things that you do in, a backwoods town.
So, we hang out on those grain barrels over there. Is it a grain barrel?
Yeah, it was a grain barrel.
And also, there's another set of grain barrels on that side of town that we like to go to.
I spent all my time with my friends here when I was younger.
But their four-wheeling portion was so sexy and so cute, and they were playing in the water, and that's something that I would love to do on a date. Just get into the water and
that looks
be
so
flirty.
much fun.
Yeah. And I thought it went really well between them.
Yeah.
They just seemed to have fun and a good time. And
I honestly feel the same way about him. Maybe a little bit more with Rachel, but he and Raven and he and Rachel seem to have this ability to have fun together.
Yeah.
That exudes the chemistry that they have because they're laughing and having fun. And I get you can have chemistry with someone in a serious situation, but just the fun that they have together makes me think that those two are so much better for him than Corinne or Vanessa.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, and I think that with Raven's family too, it went really well.
Yeah.
They just seemed to get along. They were normal people. They were good.
I was crying.
Yeah. Sad.
I can't do father-daughter relationships where the father thought he was gonna die. I can't do it. And walking down the aisle and her being I would walk down the aisle alone if it weren't with you. Come on.
I know.
God. But I'm glad he's still there.
Yeah, he's fine.
And he's cancer-free, and that's great.
He's doing great.
So.
And Raven's doing great. So everything is great. Yeah, and so Raven was upset that she didn't tell him that she loved him. And we were sitting here girl, you did.
She did.
15 episodes ago. So I don't know why she was so upset. And I also think, okay, I don't have a lot of experience saying I love you to a man, But, like, I feel like if you're really that nervous to do it, like, you have so much anxiety over it, maybe, like, it's not the right time. Like, I don't feel like you should
Yeah,
force
you should
yourself.
never force yourself to say I love you if, like, there's still 3 other girls there.
Yeah.
And, like, for some people, it's a huge thing to say, like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to say it to get the next date.
Yeah, and saying it, they have this feeling that girls that have said it to him have this upper hand, and it's
Mhm.
just not true.
And at that point, Raven was the, like, only one who had said it to him who was on the show still.
Yeah.
Like, I know that it's the hometown dates, and that's kind of when the girls, and she may have thought, like, everyone else would, but I think only Corinne did.
Yeah.
Because, like, he and Vanessa kind of got into a little fight,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, Rachel, I don't think, said it. She was
No,
just
she
like,
didn't.
see ya, like, had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
It's not as big a deal as Raven thinks, I think.
yeah.
Rachel's date?
Rachel's date.
So it went your favorite and my favorite because
Mhm.
I just can't get enough of Rachel, and like we found out last week, she's the Bachelorette,
Mhm.
and I continue to have such mixed feelings about this because I like love her, and her
Yeah.
season of The Bachelorette will be phenomenal. I think, just in that it will increase my love for her. But it boggles my mind because I don't see how she can't win.
Honestly, me either. Like, I still think that my theory is correct. Just because if he picks any of the other girls, even Raven, who I think he has a pretty good connection with, like, I don't think it's gonna work out.
I know.
And with Rachel, I mean, clearly it doesn't. But it seems like it would have more of a potential of working out with Rachel.
Yeah.
Than with any of these, like, I guess we'll get into it, but, like, Vanessa is so uppity.
Yeah.
And Corinne is so focused on money. And, like, Raven and him could be great together, but, like, he's just so drawn to Rachel.
Yeah. And even, like, so I thought he also had not only the best chemistry with Rachel, but the best chemistry with her family. Out of the families, he comes in at dinner and he's like, "I'm not from Mars, you guys," and he gets this laugh, and like they're talking
And
about...
he's, like, telling them, like, what's on the plate. They're, like, quizzing him.
Yeah, it was great.
And they're like, "Oh, you know what that is? No one knows what that is." And he's like, "Of course I know what that is."
It was so great. And like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's good.
They talked a lot about their interracial relationship, which was, I think, yeah, I don't know. For the show, like, the show doesn't handle that very often.
Yeah, it was good for the show to, like, bring light to those things.
Yeah. And I thought, yeah, like, Rachel and Nick are so natural together that I think, I mean, as much of a lot of kind of what they were saying about it seems like a cliche. They were really being honest about like just being they're just two people together.
Yeah.
And I thought both Nick and Rachel's family were really like honest with each other. I don't know. It just seemed to go really well, I thought.
Yeah. I was kind of concerned because her father wasn't there, and I know it was like a work situation, but she talked about how important it was for him to have her father's approval of their relationship. So I don't know if that's gonna come in the way somewhere. Like, I was kind of surprised there wasn't like a thing where he like tried to get in touch with him. Maybe there was, but like there wasn't a way to get in touch, so they didn't bother showing it. But like I really wonder if that's gonna come back because she talked about how important that was.
Yeah. I'm sure the thing is, I'm sure if he had ended up proposing to her, which I don't think he does, unless your theory is right, but I don't think he does, he would have got in touch just like Jordan did on JoJo's season. Yeah.
That was a little more pressured.
That was a little bit more pressured. JoJo was like,
that was like a you didn't what? What?
You did that. Are you okay?
Jordan's so dumb.
Jordan's so dumb. They're still together though.
They are.
That's good.
So I guess being dumb works out. Nick's been on the show.
Just Nick speaks so well though, it's so dangerous.
He did not with Vanessa's father.
He spoke all right.
When he was say? Like, have you asked this from the other fathers? And he was like, I sort of did. And he was like, did you ask this from the other fathers? And he was like, I just thought that I said things that were like this to them, but did I ask them? He was just like tripping over his words.
I guess so.
It was such a bad conversation.
Yeah. How do you handle that though?
I mean, I would have been like straight up, like, yeah, I did. And like that's the situation I'm in, and that's the situation that your daughter kind of put herself in.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to come across as that, like.
Yeah.
But you know, like, you can't be mad at someone for asking for more than one person's hand in marriage in this type of situation.
Yeah. When that's exactly what they signed up for.
Yeah.
But before we talk about Vanessa, we're going to talk about Corinne.
Yes.
It was awful. Like, so Corinne spends her days by spending money.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the lifestyle she lives. And not only is that, like, just the epitome of, like, self-indulgent entitlement, it's just, like, who lives like that? Who, like, I understand, okay, people who live luxuriously, but are self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
They have gained a lot of money and a lot of assets, and they use some of that to, you know, for their work and to benefit the world and charities. And then they have enough left over to live luxuriously.
Yeah.
But to be totally unaware and just, like, buy things because they're expensive.
I just, like, that entire date, I was just thinking of my uncle's family in California and, like, how they're, like, stinking rich.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to go over to their house, or, like, if one of their kids' future in-laws were to come over to the house, they wouldn't be so uppity with them. Like, that whole situation just felt uncomfortable. And, like, my family, who is super rich, and, like, my family isn't super rich, but with us and with, like, other people, they're just normal. They're just normal people. They aren't rich people, and that's what Corinne's family was.
Yeah.
And I, like, it just is such an uncomfortable situation. That whole date just seems so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and then the whole situation in which, like, Corinne's dad was like, will he be able to provide this lifestyle for you? And it's like, you can't, if that's what you're looking for in a husband, to be able to provide a lifestyle, like, Nick should book it out of there.
Yeah, and you also probably shouldn't go on The Bachelor, because, like, those guys, they all have, like, good jobs, but none of them are able to, like, none of them have a job where they're making enough for you to go and spend $300 or $3,000 a day.
Yeah.
Like, none of them do. Even with their stupid Bachelor money.
Yeah.
I don't know why I called it stupid. I was just angry.
Money.
I was angry at the whole situation.
And I thought it was so rude when Corinne's dad was like, so will you be comfortable if Corinne is the breadwinner? And I was like, why is that? Okay. It's like,
it's such an antiquated question.
yeah.
And like, why
Why should it matter who makes more money? And if Corinne is making more money, Nick shouldn't be expected to pay for her lifestyle.
yeah.
So it was a unnecessary loaded question.
Yeah.
Raquel was sweet though.
She was like, Corinne is like my child, and I was like, poor you. But
So
that's like
sorry.
really sweet. And
Yeah.
it made me like even like Corinne more, because
Yeah.
if the woman who I assume she torments on a regular basis is like, I love her, then I kind of
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe she's not so bad.
I mean, I think it's different because I'm sure Corinne is not an awful person. I'm sure she treats Raquel, I'm sure she really cares about Raquel.
Yeah.
Like, she raised her, but
she's just like selfish and
so
unaware.
So like, I'm sure Raquel cares about her, but like, I'm sure Raquel also knows that she doesn't know a thing about like anything. So
and then there was Vanessa's date.
Vanessa.
And they were in Montreal, which was super cool. Love Canada. And like the first part of the date went really well.
Yeah,
with
it seemed like
her classroom, and
all of her students really love her, which is sweet.
And they did the scrapbook thing. And they approved of him.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That was good.
And then it was real downhill from there.
It was just whoop. It was bad. Her whole family, like, is like her. And like her mom was like focusing on, like, it's one thing to be concerned and it's another to just be like a wet towel, you know? And totally, sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, go ahead.
I feel like she was totally, because like Vanessa, if I came home with a guy that I was really excited about, my mother's first reaction would not be, well, let me tell you about all the things I found wrong, or like the things that I'm not sure about. She would be like, I'm so happy you're excited about this guy, like positive and kind of on my side, like, So I feel like they just brought her down.
Which is kind of what Rachel's mom was like, right? Like, she was like, oh, all of these are good things, good things, good things. Is there, like, one thing you see as a deal breaker? Because everyone has deal breakers. And, like, is there anything? So, like, she focused on both sides. Vanessa's mother was completely negative.
Yeah.
And also, like, they were talking about, like, where they're gonna move and stuff. And, like, saying they don't have that much time to figure it out, but really they have months to figure it out, because once they get engaged, yes, it's a little weird to get engaged without having talked about if you're gonna move somewhere, but you can't tell anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming you tell your families, but you can't tell like the world or anything. You have to keep it quiet. So that's the time when you can sit down and be like, okay, so now we need to hash these things out.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out because of those things, that's fine, but like, you can work through those things during that time.
Yeah.
It's not the end all be all when this proposal happens. They just make it seem like that.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like Nick had said, they discussed it briefly, so it's not like they had no, like, if they got to after and it was like, oh, we hadn't even talked about if we were willing to move. It's not, you don't have to have a solid plan. It seemed like they had said things like, oh, I'm willing to move around, It's not like so a lot of the things they were talking about seemed like like, it's like, the whole thing, like, even Vanessa just seemed to expect special treatment out of this really structured system. And, like, you watch the show because you don't get...
You have to sign
way.
papers upon papers to prove that you know what you're signing up for.
It's a way.
And you don't get special treatment.
So, I can't deal with the expecting this special treatment. You're not special. Ugh, everyone else seems to get it.
If you went on the show and this was happening to you, I would be like, he's an asshole.
Yeah. Same.
But you are special.
Thank you. You are too. No. But the difference is, I would understand that what I was getting myself into, and Vanessa just seems to not know. Yeah, and then they went to Vanessa's dad's house.
Mm-hmm. And that went
Poorly.
probably worse.
Probably worse. He did get a blessing at the end. He talked his way to a blessing. But her dad spilled the beans to Vanessa.
Yeah.
That he asked everyone, again, like he has to.
Yeah. And she was like, that he should know by now. Like, no, he shouldn't. No, he shouldn't.
No.
God.
No.
And even if he did, he's gonna ask for everyone's hand because the show, like, he would at least ask for 2 people's hands because the producers aren't gonna be like, you can't and not the others. What the fuck are you?
Yeah, exactly.
You've been through this before, Nick, you should know!
Especially Nick's 4th time, the producers would be like...
Nick just disappears and they replace him with someone who looks slightly similar.
Yeah.
Maybe doesn't have the list. I don't know. Just spitballing here.
Yeah. Yeah. The girls go on as if nothing has changed in America. It's just like...
America's like, we're pretty sure that's not him. And everyone's like, no, it definitely.
Yeah. The real Nick Viall walks by in the background.
He skates by again, like during that one Ravens.
He's just rollerblades. Yeah. But yeah, so those are the 4, and Andy comes in at the end. And it's gonna be something dumb like, Nick, this is your 4th time, are you sure? And he's gonna be like,
Can
yeah.
you, like, fucking imagine? I hate it. I hate it so much. There's no reason. If she does not say, we have to get married today, then I don't give a shit and don't show it to me. And she's not going to.
What if this whole time they've been holding back this enormous giant secret? This time, this week, he sends Corinne home and replaces her with Andy.
If they do that, then I will be okay with her coming to this hotel room. But if she's like, oh, Nick, you know, you were pretty sure with me. Are you sure you're sure with these girls? I'm gonna be like, I fucking hate this show. And also, they didn't do a rose ceremony to build up to the fact that Andy knocks on his door, and I don't give a shit. I'm really sorry.
We're gonna do a moment of meditation to bring it back. And we're back.
I'm sorry, but it's just stupid, and I just wanted a rose ceremony.
Yep.
There's no reason for there not to be a rose ceremony.
No,
it's dumb.
And yeah, so that was the episode, and next week we're probably in for a whole nother round of disappointment, so...
Yep. They will be in Finland, though.
They will be in Finland. So we finally are getting some sort of gratification from this season.
So I'll be wearing my Finland flag.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy. We'll see.
You'll at least get to see the Finnish scenery.
Oh, God.
So there'll be something to look at here.
I'll just ignore it. After Andy is like, okay, bye, have fun, I'm just gonna ignore everything else and just be like, Finland.
Yes.
Okay.
So I just as a wrap-up statement here, if Corinne doesn't go home this week, she wins, right? If she doesn't go home this week, she wins.
I could see Vanessa going home this week, though.
You think? I mean, I guess it did go badly, but I think if Rachel doesn't win, I don't know. I honestly see Vanessa winning before I see Raven winning.
Yeah, which is why I still think that my theory is true.
Yeah.
I hope my theory is true because that's dramatic and they should have made it go down like that.
Yeah.
Producers get on my level.
All right, everyone. Well, we didn't do a lot of tweeting tonight.
We didn't.
We were off the ball.
We were focusing on our friend's dating site,
which is very interesting. So,
yes.
So we were distracted.
She's cutthroat, so we had to keep up, basically.
Really, we did. It was like lightning round Bachelor. No. So yeah, check us out live tweeting next week.
Yes, follow us on Twitter at Such a Connection.
And we'll see you then.